up real quick. So I did all my work here. Alright, so it should be 7x to the 4th plus 15x cubed minus 4x squared plus 6x minus 4. Good. So we gotta find the degree of the polynomial. Alright. What is the degree of the first term? 4. How do you know? What are we looking at when we the exponent on what? Very good. So the exponent of the first term will be 4. What's the degree of the second term? 3. Third term? 2. 1. And there are no variables, right? So 0. Good. So now we go for the largest number, right? Okay. So what's the degree of the whole thing? Very good. We have an activity where you guys are kind of gonna roam the halls for some time, as quietly as possible, and then when I group back together in here.
This is what we're going to do, guys. I've given each of you a card. Now, in the hallway, up the hallway near the boys' bathroom and just right around the corner, are 7 shapes. Okay? Just like when we did this, there'll be a shape with a polynomial for the length of the side. So what you're going to do, you're going to find the shape that matches your card. That's the first thing you're going to do. All right? Then you're going to draw that shape and label the sides. Once you've done that, you're going to find the perimeter of your shape, adding the length of the sides, just like we did here. We added the length of all the sides, and we found the perimeter. Okay, with me? Once you've done that, you're going to find the degree of the shape. You find the degree of the polynomial. Any questions on that? Once you find the degree of that shape, that tells you which is the next one to go to. Now, if you're working on, which number do you have? If you're working on number 5, and you find the degree, and the degree says 3, your degree is 3, then you'll go to problem number 3. Does that make sense to you? Okay, there are 7 problems, and then 3 challenge problems. 3 problems and 3 challenge problems. The challenge problems are a little bit more difficult. So you'll do all 7 of the regular ones before you do the challenge. Okay? Any questions? All right, now, here's the incentive. The team that is the quietest in the hallway gets 5 bonus points on the next quiz. Okay? The quietest team in the hallway, okay, gets 5 bonus points on the next quiz. Everybody, is that a good enough incentive? Okay. All right, now, I have some blank white paper up here. Come on, guys, quit talking while I'm trying to get instruction. I've got some blank white paper up here if you need to draw on that. Now, this morning, some of the groups would go do their drawing and then come back and work together and get the answer and then go back out. A couple of them like to write on the board because they had more room. That was fine. A couple of groups stayed up in the hallway and did all their work up there on the floor, but they were very quiet. All right? So whatever works for you will be fine. As long as you work, try to get as many of them done in the time that we have available. Does that make sense? Okay, do we have any questions?
All right, look up real quick. All right, so pretty much is what we need for warm-up, right? So for example, we found the perimeter, and then this was the degree. So if this was your first problem, this number will tell you what poster you go to next. So it's important that you guys, when you solve the first one, come up to us and show us the work, check with us, to make sure that that's the next poster that you're going to go to. Does that make sense? So you find the perimeter by adding all the sides together, find the degree of the polynomial and that number, and check with us, okay, to make sure that that is that you got it right, and that's the next number you're gonna go to. Is that okay? Yeah? Good. I think we're ready.
Can you go back?
Yes. So step one, when you go in the hallways, find the poster that has the number on your card. Then you're gonna need a sheet of paper. Then copy the problem real quick on the piece of paper. Find the perimeter, the degree, and you can do that. Like Mr. Robbins said, you can come back here and do it on the table, or you can grab a marker and do it on the board. It's up to you guys. But when you finish, make sure you check with us to make sure that that's what the right answer is. So that'll tell you what poster to go to next.
Any questions?
Good. So you're gonna need a pencil and a sheet of paper. We try to plan after school because Mike has third period planning and I have first period planning, so that's kind of a problem. So we try to get together after school and talk about the plans for the week, and also through email. There's a math class as a pacing guide. So at the beginning of the semester, we talk about the pacing guide and all the units and the sequence, all the concepts. So we know exactly what's going on each week, and then we plan daily based on that pacing guide that we devise at the beginning of the semester. The relationship between the two co-teachers really begins before the school year. It begins, in our case, before first semester, and we try to sit down and figure things out, how it's gonna, how the lesson's gonna, or the class is gonna unfold. And for example, in our case, we decided that I would be the one going over the warm-up every day, and then Mike would be the one that would introduce the topic of the day, the new material, and then we would both facilitate learning or assisting the groups in solving problems. But at the same time, there's an understanding and a feeling of, and a sense of trust, where I can jump in at any time and make a comment or show something in a different way. So that's kind of neat, but it's something that has to be agreed on beforehand. Mike and I are comfortable enough to be really honest about how things go. So we try to, as much as possible, talk about the lesson at the end, right before the next class, or at the end of the day, to kind of see how things went, and how we felt, what we felt we could have done differently. So even if we mess up, which we do, there's enough trust and level of comfort to talk things over and change things and adjust things. Um, 10 minutes. Yeah.
Just kind of to debrief and
talk about the next day, and like I said, the pacing guide provides a good structure, so we know what the unit for that week is, and since we've been doing this for some time, for the most part, we have the materials already in place. It's just a matter of sequencing.
One's working with other people on problems, the other one's helping us too.
You know,
And like when one doesn't know how to explain something, the other one does.
like sometimes he knows how to, he has a different strategy of explaining it better than Mr. Robertson does, and sometimes he does than he does, but basically it's the same way. They give us strategies that we can understand.
But if you look at these two, you got 1 plus, 1 minus, what happens to them?
You change them around to like.
Well, if you have 1 minus 1, what is that? 0. So these two are gonna cancel out, okay? Now, do you have anything that you can put with this?
No.
Okay, so,
Is that supposed to be the same?
so you got C. It's another asset. It's another tool that we can use to make sure that the students are able to excel, because we both have strengths that we can work off of each other, ideas that we can bounce back and forth. And he may have a unique perspective on something we're teaching that's a little different from mine, that may be easier to understand, and vice versa. Another strategy that we use in co-teaching, if we do have a group that is struggling and that are not really getting the concept, we can split the students where the co-teacher can take one group and work with them, and then I can take the other group and you know, maybe continue on with them. If we and we do that especially with new concepts. We'll take one part of a concept, he'll take another part of the concept, and then the next day we'll switch it back around so that they're both getting it. But it's especially effective if you have a group, a small group that is struggling. We can set them aside and really concentrate on helping them. Enjoy having a co-teacher. It has its advantages, and being in the classroom by yourself does have its advantages too. But you know, as the old saying goes, you know, 2 heads are better than 1.